The Rainbow Theater presents Pirate's Peril. You can read along with me in your book. When you hear this, turn the page. Let's begin now. Fearless, loyal, in constant battle against injustice. A hero like no other. No man, no law, no war can stop Rambo, the force of freedom. As Rambo drives his Defender 6x6 Jeep along a dirt road leading to the airport where Turbo, his friend and helper, has his stealth jet parked, he listens to the voice of Colonel Troutman on his transceiver.
More trouble, Rambo. General Warhawk and Savage are on their rampage again.
What are they after this time, Colonel?
They seem to have got it. Warhawk's henchman, Gripper, has been operating a hydrofoil like a pirate ship. He intercepted a freighter carrying one of our latest missiles.
Gripper snatched a Pandora?
I'm afraid so. The missile was being shipped to the Carlean Islands. The Carleans were going to use it to boost their country's defenses.
You can bet General Warhawk won't use it defensively.
You got it. According to intelligence, he plans to level Carlea's capital city as a warning to its Indonesian neighbors to surrender to his terrorist organization, Savage.
In other words, nuclear blackmail. Colonel, you sure give me the toughest assignments.
Why not? That's how you like 'em.
Rambo stops his Jeep at the airport's guardhouse, and an officious security guard approaches him.
This is a restricted area.
John Rambo, on special assignment.
You're not on the list.
Check with your boss.
He's at lunch, and he doesn't like to be disturbed. Check back in an hour or so.
Look, fella, I don't have time. We got an emergency here.
I said check back in an hour.
There's no way Rambo can force his way past the guard, so he backs his Jeep and speeds alongside the perimeter fence, calling up Turbo on his transceiver.
Turbo, you read me?
Sure. Now move your tail, buddy. We gotta get this show on the road.
Head for the runway. I'll meet up with you.
Rambo swerves into the fence and drives right through it, heading for the runway. The guard gives the alarm, and soon Rambo is pursued by jeeps coming from all directions, warning lights flashing and sirens wailing. Turbo accelerates his jet down the runway with Rambo driving alongside him. The jet slowly rises a few feet into the air, and Rambo steers his Jeep directly beneath it. The guard calls out to him.
Stop! I'm ordering you to stop!
Sorry, fella. I hate to disobey orders, but I got a plane to catch.
Rambo stands up in his Jeep and grabs one of the jet's tires above him. He clambers along the landing gear and up onto the wing. The jet takes off, carrying him into the air, while his driverless Jeep speeds up the runway. Despite the intense wind pressure, Rambo works his way along the wing to the side of the fuselage and yanks open the emergency door release lever. He swings inside and slams the door behind him.
Next time, old buddy, what do you say we take the bus?
Turbo brings the jet up to maximum speed, and soon they are flying over the South China Sea. He points to an island far below them.
There it is. Not exactly fun-filled Hawaii.
According to Colonel Troutman, Gripper's building a military base down there using pirated supplies and equipment.
I'm flying in low. Hang on, it's going to get choppy.
As the jet approaches the island, it passes through thunderclouds and a bolt of lightning strikes one of the wing fuel booster tanks, which bursts into flames.
Better jettison that fuel tank, Turbo, or we'll be in trouble.
I'm trying, but it won't budge. The lever's stuck.
I'll unstick it.
Rambo grabs the lever and manages to pull it back. The blazing fuel tank falls away, but the wing is still burning.
Give me a hand, Rambo. We're going down.
Rambo grabs the co-pilot's controls and helps Turbo crash land the plane on the island. It skims over some treetops, careers along the ground and through a screen which fortunately douses the fire on the wing. It then skids into some trees, and a branch smashes through the windshield and traps a semi-conscious Turbo against the wall of the plane. Immediately, Rambo begins to break off the smaller branches so that he can get at the main one, which is trapping Turbo. Straining every muscle, he lifts it off Turbo's chest and tosses it aside.
Turbo, you okay?
I felt better.
I'll call base.
Forget it, pal. We can't break radio silence.
You're in bad shape. I gotta do something.
What you gotta do is stop Gripper. I can take care of myself. You got your orders.
I'll be back as soon as I can.
Hey, and bring me 2 burgers and an order of fries.
They smile at each other, and Rambo sets off into the jungle. Meanwhile, Gripper is in his field office, talking on the phone to General Warhawk.
Yeah, that's right, General. The jet's wing was on fire. It went down in the swamp.
Organize a search party and bring in the survivors.
Survivors? No way. No one could have...
You heard me. If you can't do the job, I'll send in Sergeant Havoc.
I'll get onto it right away. But like I said, no one could have survived that crash.
There's one man who'd survive anything. Rambo.
Rambo? What makes you think he was on the plane?
Gripper, I have spies everywhere. Even guards at U.S. airports.
Relentlessly, Rambo makes his way through the thick jungle until he finds himself at the edge of a steep cliff.
How do I get down there?
He notices a large hollow log, which he lugs to the edge, and then squeezes inside it. By rocking his body, he makes the log topple over the edge and roll, bouncing from boulder to boulder to the bottom of the hill. It comes to rest in some bushes, and using his massive strength, Rambo bursts out through the sides of the log and continues on his way through the jungle without pause. The snap of a cracking twig makes him freeze in his tracks.
Company.
A large Bengal tiger leaps at him, and man and beast fall to the ground in a fearsome embrace.
Hey, kitty. I don't want to hurt you.
With an arm lock on the tiger's head, Rambo wrestles it against a tree, and with his free hand, takes out a spool of nylon rope which he wraps around the tiger's muzzle.
I hate to do this, but you give me no choice. By the time you wriggle your way out of that, I'll be long gone.
And as the tiger tries to remove the rope with its paw, Rambo runs off through the underbrush. He comes round a bend in the track, and bullets kick up the dirt around his feet. He is surrounded by Gripper and his men.
We got you, Rambo. We got you good.
Back in the grounded plane, Turbo is feeling a little better. He hears a hissing sound and turns to find himself face to face with a large python. To his surprise, a female hand reaches out and grabs the snake just below the head. The hand belongs to Cat, the third member of Rambo's team.
Cad, how'd you get here?
When you disappeared off radar, Troutman had a chopper drop me in.
Well, now that you're here, think you can help me put this jet back together?
Looks hopeless, but I'll give it a try.
In the terrorist camp, Rambo's plight looks hopeless too. Chained and manacled, he faces his interrogator, Lissitz. who flicks at him with a whip.
Cooperate, and I might go easy on you. How much does Troutman know about our operation? Talk! Talk, I say! Very well. Since you are obviously not prepared to cooperate, I shall try some of my other rather painful toys on you.
Suddenly, Rambo swings his feet out in front of him and kicks Lizards in the chest. Then he yanks on the chains with all his might. They rip free and he walks over to the fallen lizards.
Now it's my turn to interrogate you. I want to know everything about Gripper's setup.
Please, don't hurt me. I'll tell you everything you want to know.
You bet you will.
In Gripper's office, Sergeant Havoc has arrived. Warhawk wanted to make sure you didn't screw up the mission, Gripper.
He's got nothing to worry about. The missile is ready to fire. And I've captured Rambo. So I really don't need your help.
Well, you're going to have it anyway. Warhawk has turned over the installation to me.
What?
You heard me. You got a complaint? Talk to the general. Havoc punches the intercom button. Prepare the missile. We'll launch in 5 minutes. The voice of a technician replies. Affirmative. Automatic firing sequence activated. Rambo has crawled beneath the floor of the office hut and overheard the conversation. He finds the ammunition store and creates a diversion by blowing it up. In the confusion, he manages to get into the missile site and climbs up onto the missile's fins. He uses the scabbard of his knife to prise open its onboard control panel. But at the launching console, Havoc presses the firing button. Too late, Rambo! It's liftoff time! The main engine of the missile fires and it takes off with Rambo hanging onto the rear fins. Cat and Turbo have succeeded in repairing the jet when they see the rocket launched. They take off and pursue it. Turbo turns to Cat, who is in the co-pilot seat.
Get ready to blast that missile.
All set.
Ready? Hold it. Do you see what I see?
Sure do. High flying Rambo.
The jet flies closer to the missile, and Rambo takes out his transceiver.
Turbo, you read me?
I read you, but I don't believe you.
I've disabled the nuclear warhead and I'm altering the guidance system to send the missile back to Gripper's camp.
Not a bad idea.
Cat agrees.
Even without the warhead, the triggering device will blow Gripper's camp to smithereens.
As the missile turns through 180 degrees, Turbo brings the jet up beneath it.
I think you've had enough fresh air, Rambo.
Rambo leaps onto the roof of the jet, while the missile flies back to the island and destroys Gripper's main installation. Rambo climbs into the jet, and Cat turns to him with a smile.
Next time, wear your jacket or you'll catch cold.
She catches sight of some small islands below them.
Hey, look! Aren't those the Caroline Islands, Turbo?
Sure are. A couple of specks in the ocean. And they have no idea all the hassle we went through for them.
Rambo looks serious.
But it was worth it. Because freedom is one gift you can't keep. Unless you're willing to share it with everybody.